Yeah, when I saw your face, I'm like, yeah, Bill and I appreciated you very much.
Thank you so much. So we'll open the meeting at 7:20. Do I have a scribe volunteer for the meeting?
Want me to scribe?
Yes. Did you scribe last time?
No, I did not.
Did Dawn do it?
I don't remember.
It wasn't me and it wasn't Karen. If it wasn't you.
I did take my own notes, so if Dawn didn't do it, I can do the minutes.
Okay, and I have my little hand scratches too. So yeah, we might have to do that.
Okay, that's no problem.
Okay, so let's plan on getting together and doing that, Karen, so that we have them for the next meeting. So chapter updates. Let's start with the economic development section. I had the opportunity to talk with Frank over at FXM and sort of reviewed the high level pieces, not line by line. I felt like he took a little bit of umbrage to the fact that we noted that it really wasn't customized for Townsend. And he did agree that it was a template, and he said, sort of words to these effects, that it was a tried and true template that they use. So he felt pretty beholden to that template, even though it didn't give us a lot of, good, information. It gave us numbers, but didn't really create a strategy. And then he said that the front part, and again, not his exact words, but in general terms, that he acquiesced basically to answering those questions, even though those were the questions that we had put in our proposal. So he didn't give me the warm fuzzies that was going to change too much. But I told him that we really, we put those questions forward because they were important to the group and that we wanted them to get some attention. And, I had pointed out, some of the things that didn't really mesh with Townsend very well. And then I talked to him about the fact that, Dawn and I spent so much time with him, driving him around and really detailing out some of the things that were going on in town, where things were located, how we could connect the different villages together, in terms of economic development as a priority. And then I said, we spent a lot of time interviewing with the folks that, participated in the meetings, and that none of that was reflected in the work. So he said that they've been on a really big deadline, that he'll pay some attention to it next week. And I did let him know that we had an upcoming meeting with the planning board on the 5th, that we had our meeting tonight, and that we really needed to get some feedback on that particular piece of our work. So I'll continue to try to get on his schedule, and make sure that we can bring that chapter to fruition. Chaz, I know somehow I told Karen, I have no idea how I messed it up for not going to the meeting the other night. I don't know if you guys talked about it, the planning board meeting. I don't know if you talked about it after I got off, or if I was just so focused of the meeting that would occur after our meeting. I don't know, but at any rate, can you fill us in a little bit on what happened at your meeting with the water chapter?
Sure, no worries. Yes, you were missed, but what we had done, and I'm hoping that you had received the emails from Beth, because we followed through with that. We
Yes.
talked about what you had sent to the planning board in regards to the water department that was written. And then because we are working very closely right now with the water department on some other activities that we're doing, he had submitted to us a master plan for the water department. This master plan is in the documents that, or actually I think Beth linked a folder for you guys to look at. Okay, did you look at that, Bill, in regards to the folder that she linked you guys to?
Yeah, I started reading it, but didn't get that far. But
Okay, that is a 15, 20-year comprehensive master plan that's still in the works for the water department. And we are thinking that if we can combine what you guys had submitted and with that report as well, that's really going to give us a comprehensive idea on what we need for the water department.
Okay. I think that would be great. I didn't have a chance to even listen to your meeting yet. I did get the information from Beth. So if we can just continue to, I guess, look at that as it comes to an endpoint, and then do you think, Tess, it will be like a summary of it that you think that we should put in there? Should we put the whole plan as an addendum? What might the suggestion be on that?
The suggestion is to kind of look at, because the master plan right now is, we need to get it done as quickly as possible. So our thought is maybe the first 5 years or so that is written in the water master plan, to get that in there. It's also kind of prudent for you guys to look at what maps they have in there, because those are the same maps that MRPC has. So that'll cut down on what we can do or what they need to do when they can just recreate those maps, right, Karen, is what we talked about.
Yeah.
I wanted to throw out to you that the Energy Committee is also in the process of writing a master plan for themselves as well. And I might suggest if you guys can get in touch with them, because they have a lot of that written as well. And I think we can incorporate that in the master plan too.
Okay. Yeah, I think that would be good. I know that was a chapter that Don was going to do, and that he had discussed that that chapter with the Energy Committee before.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll certainly try to get him to connect with the Energy Committee.
Mm-hmm.
Is there a way, Tess, their email addresses are not online, to make sure that we have all of them?
Yes, my suggestion is if you can get in touch with Beth and ask her, she can give you them.
Okay. We can do that. So without Don here,
I came.
oh,
I came in.
he's here.
Yeah,
Okay, I was looking.
in your chat. Sorry.
Oh, there you are.
Yeah, it's kind of like I'm in the basement, so I don't do the video.
That's fine. I was kind of looking at our sections as I was talking, not looking at my screen.
I have to apologize. I haven't been into this mail account since the beginning of the month. Getting ready for retirement really killed my time availability. It's kind of like work has, offloading and training people to take my work has been time consuming.
I bet.
Okay. So did you want to maybe update us, Don, on your chapters? I don't know how much of what you heard of what Chaz was talking about with energy.
Yeah. I had taken the email address. I hadn't reached out to the chairman. They had a meeting scheduled and I missed it because I thought I'd get on their agenda and talk to them live and set it up. So we are going. The direction is exactly where we need to go. That's where I was going to go, and I just need to get that. So it is my time is opening up now. So it's kind of like I have more time to spend on the master plan.
Okay.
And get that done. I'll when I talk to them, I'll get a schedule and get that back to you. So we have a schedule.
Okay.
I did hear that we're trying to do something for the quickly, as quick as we can. So
yeah, I mean, we really would like to get back on our schedule that we had last spring to make sure that we get this done, buttoned up and over really the next month, so that we can do a lot of sort of the logistical work of putting it together, so to speak, making it look consistent, all that good stuff, and then getting it so that the planning board can review its entirety and then be done with it in June.
Yeah.
So we definitely want to do that.
And that's excuse me, Kim, if this is why I'd like to have Karen on there, because we're in the process of finalizing the contract for MRPC as far as the mapping is concerned. And we want to make sure if what they need to get done, if they can start their work now. I just want to make sure that all of our timelines are together before the planning board enters into a contract with MRPC for the agreement.
Okay, that makes good sense. So I just want to go back to the maps for a second. Well, no, that's a whole nother discussion. I was connecting on the water, and I don't want to jump ahead. So, okay, Dawn, if we can, when we set our next meetings, if we can really make sure that we can get that so that I can get a whole document together to give to everybody, so that we can start kind of hashing it around, that would be great.
Yep.
Just see here. So let's delve into the GLTA, the mapping process. In looking at what the water department had, there's a lot of maps in there, that probably as many as we were going to estimate for our whole plan.
Mm-hmm.
Which ones, Karen, from your, do you have a perspective of which ones would be best for you guys to make? Is there any layering that can be done, to combine any of those? Because there's a lot of maps in there.
Yeah. Thank you. I'm here because John is unavailable to be here at this time. He'll be working on this project with you, but I'm doing the contracting, and I just want to get this straight. But yeah, each chapter will have its own maps. We have all the, we do the assessor's work for Townsend, so we have all of that data. And we can download we have all the layers from Mass GIS. So we have no problem with making maps. We just, we have all the data, all the layers. We can do whatever you want.
Okay. It's really coming down to which ones to select.
Okay. So you talk about the water chapter. What is that? They just sort of did, the water department did a chapter of what their water resources are and stuff.
Well, they're doing a separate plan, which is, quite extensive. And I think we can pull, like Chaz said, the high level pieces for the next 5 years or so out of their plan and add that to what Todd had done. And then think about a comprehensive map that would reflect water. So I think the whole, a map of the whole water, resources would be important. And what do others think for that particular chapter?
Kim, do you just want something that shows like where the wells are in town and the district that those particular wells provide to? Is that?
I think it's the aquifers, and yeah, I think it's also in the map of it is additionally the aquifer and how far it goes. So I think it's the full map of just the water and the water source, but the protected areas around it.
Yeah, I mean that's just clicking a couple of layers.
Yeah.
Right.
So
sounds like it would be enough, I think.
Yeah,
for our purposes, for their own, for their
Right.
own master plan. Of course, they need the other things involved with repairs and whatnot. But
Yeah,
for
and
ours,
that's-
I think what Dawn just said would be perfect.
Yep, and that is I think that would provide a base for your narrative that you put in there, because it also talks about that currently there isn't a redundancy within the water, and the things that they're going to be doing in the next 5 to 7 years is creating a redundancy so that if one well goes out, they have others that are going online that are going to be backup for whatever it is. I think that, if there was a general map, Karen, that had all of with the aquifer, it had the system itself, and then the separate wells in which they are, so that when you make reference to it, people can look at that map and see what well they're talking about.
Well, I know that, so there's 2 separate water maps. There would be the water supply resources and then the regular water resources, wetlands, rivers, streams, and everything. So you're putting the water stuff into the services and facilities chapter, I assume?
So we had a separate section on water.
Okay. So
Yeah.
all water.
So we had it broken down.
Mhm.
So there was the water as the infrastructure. I'm going to read you how it lays out. I'm just going to get back there.
Because the other water was under the natural resources.
Natural resources. And then,
Okay.
but then we also have, recreation. It listed in recreation. So we have under land use, the zoning, the business, commercial space, open space, recreation, and then water supply is sort of a piece of that overall category.
Okay. So we can do a water supply resources that has the aquifer, or plural aquifers, the water supply zones, so 1, 2, and 3. The well locations, obviously. I'm not sure about water distribution. I know when I was there was a paper map, but I wasn't sure if the water department was able to get that. When I was there, I was trying with Paul to get that digitized, and I don't know if they have the distribution system digitized yet.
They do.
They do.
Yep. They
Okay,
do.
good.
In their new master plan, it's all set.
Okay. So are they having someone do that plan for them, and did they have maps made for that?
Yes and yes.
Okay. So
And
you
your
can
next
use their
question is-
maps.
Yeah, the next question is who, and I don't have that information in front of me, but yes, they
No,
had
I don't need to know who. I just want to know if they have maps in their plan,
yes.
you can swipe those. I
Yep.
imagine theirs is what I just talked about, is, the supply and the zones and the
Correct.
aquifers.
Correct.
Because we're a groundwater-based system, all the other water does affect it, obviously, but when you talk about wetlands and rivers, streams, certified vernal pools, you're talking more about water resources.
So, Chaz, are you suggesting we take the ones out of the water department's document and use those?
We can, yes, and during our conversation with the water department, they said they'll be more than glad to whatever they need to do to get permission for us to do that. We can do that.
Okay. So because it sounds like right there would be running up to a good number of maps, like the aquifer, the water supply zones.
That could all be on one map.
Okay, you want that on one map?
I mean, it'd be better to display it that way
Okay,
because they're all interrelated.
okay, that's helpful. Thank
Yeah.
you. So, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. So the other areas, if I'm looking at our different chapters for the rest of the committee, we've got infrastructure, our community facilities and services, open space, recreation, the land use, natural resources. So do you think that we could put sort of our community assets and infrastructure facilities all on one, or
Yes. That sounds reasonable. I mean, the infrastructure, I mean, are you putting like public safety infrastructure on there too? Like where the cell towers are, or where the I forget what they're called. And the locations of the fire stations, or
yeah,
is
so
it
we,
infrastructure like water sewer?
no, so the infrastructure and community facilities. So I think we need like our town buildings and all of those, the assets that we have on one map. And then we have our open space chapter.
Yep.
And then we have it split. So the open space and then recreation.
Mm-hmm.
And then, some of our facilities might be sort of one and the same. So what do you think, everyone else, that we would have the baseline open space, and then in the next chapter have the same map, but then with the areas that are actual recreation areas?
Or
That seems a good
Karen, can you do
context.
an overlay on that one too? Is that if you're trying to reduce the amount of maps? Or would you rather have it per the section?
I mean, an open space map is not going to have a lot of clutter on it. It's just, this parcel is colored green, whereas the recreation would actually have like maybe a star or an arrow or a trail, a marker for that. So those going together is, like peanut butter and jelly. Because you separate open space and you say, well, this open space is for recreation, but it's hard to separate those two.
Well, so in our recreation, we talk more about the other recreation, not just the open space.
So like the rec center and the tennis
and
courts
activities.
and
Yeah.
I mean, I think that could be done on the same map, but if you don't want to, that's fine too. I mean,
It's just
Kim, you've made maps before, right?
Yes.
You've worked with GIS. You know that it's just turning on and off layers.
Yes.
And we have standard formats, and it's really not an issue. I mean, you said 12 to 16 maps. You know, if it ends up being 20, that it's not an issue.
Okay.
Just so you know.
Okay. Yeah, I know once the base layers are there, it goes pretty quickly. So I think we should do separate ones, because we have kind of separated the chapters out. So if we have all the recreation locations starred and arrowed in the first part of the, in the open space piece of it, then where people are going to be saying, well, what is all this other stuff?
Right.
Okay.
I get that.
Although I think it makes sense to build the recreation on top of the open space,
Yes.
do the open space by itself, and then overlay the recreation on top of the open space to give it the context.
Like that.
Yeah, that's a great idea, Bill.
Okay. So I sort of have a list of, standard master plan maps. If you want me to just list them, and you can say, oh yeah, we could use one of those, or no.
Up or down?
Oh, sure. Yeah, that works, Karen. I was just going by our chapters, but if you want to do that, that would be terrific.
Okay. So regional context. I mean, you know what that is, just showing where Townsend is in the state or the region.
The grand scheme of things.
Yeah.
Sure. Maybe that would become our cover. I don't know. We're going to think of something for the cover.
We are here.
Yes, here.
You really do exist.
Obviously,
Okay.
land use. You talked about land use.
Yeah.
Zoning. That's a no-brainer, right?
Yes.
And we already talked about water resources, wetlands, river streams, certified vernal pools as a map separate from the water supply, correct?
Yes, and that's in a separate chapter.
Right.
Our existing natural resources, rivers, brooks, ponds.
And then you want, so I have open space and recreation, so I'm separating those.
Yeah.
Historic and cultural resources.
Yes. So I don't know if this is on a different spot, but just looking at our chapters with the natural resources, the rivers, ponds, and brooks, we also have the rare and priority habitats.
Okay. That's further down on my list.
Okay.
Yeah, I just sort of threw the list together. I didn't sort them in any logical order.
Now you guys had talked about, we have a historic district, and then we have, you guys have narrative in regards to the need for a historic commission.
Yes.
Do we need any maps in regards to that as well?
I think we do.
So there are historic district maps. I know there's 3 historic districts in town.
Right. The ones that Karen, that I see in most of our stuff are the hand-drawn ones.
Yeah.
So it would probably be nice to have a digitized one.
Well, what happened was I made them for each district, and what happened was in District 3, which is West Townsend, there was discrepancy about which parcels were in and which were out, and there was some confusion about the vote at town meeting, so that kind of that project got put on a back burner. But
okay.
If the historic district commission active right now?
Yes, they are.
Maybe they can solve that problem, but it would, and the historic and cultural resources, like, if we have any heritage trails, which buildings are on the register, all of that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
We could overlay that over the historic districts if you want, or they could be 2 separate
One of the things I was trying
maps.
to put about this historic district is the idea of historic tourism. And I used since the rail trail interconnects 2 of the historic districts, and you can walk from one to the other, and there's a lot of open space between them. I tried to make this map, by myself, that showed, basically how much open space there is, how you can walk from one to the other. I don't know if that's possible to do through a map, but I mean, I sort of gave that idea that there was sort of a combination of walking tours with the rail trail between the 2 historic districts.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, the rail trail can actually be a feature on every single map if you want. The railroad shows up anyways as a layer, so it could just be highlighted on every single map. But I understand you wanting to show the historic district in relation to the rail trail.
Well, yeah, let's we do the historic districts and the rail trail, from Depot Street to, the edge of town. So
Right.
And the call out map that you did, Bill, I really like that a lot.
Did you do a map already?
I zoomed in on the Townsend Harbor Historic District and showed that, there is a little rail trail connection, but it didn't show the other, the connection to the other historic district. So if we could combine that in your other map of just the historic districts, showing how the rail trail interconnects 2 of them, I think that would kill the need for, what that zoom in doesn't show. Yeah.
Okay. And so obviously, I'm not sure. GIS must have a historic layer, and I would know the local things so I can tell them.
I actually have I forget what they call those maps where you can, it's just a shape map, a shape file for the rail trail.
Oh, you do?
Yes.
Could you send it to us?
Sure.
So I can't share my screen. I was going to show you all what Bill had done. I mean, everyone on the committee should have it. You don't have a paper copy of it there, do you, Bill?
Of what? The map that I did?
Yeah.
Oh God, no! Of course I don't. I have it on my screen. Does that help?
Well, I can't share my screen either. I was trying to figure out like how can I get it so everyone can see it?
Well,
You
as
can
long
ask
as-
share your
Hartley's
screen.
on the
if
thing.
Hartley's
Ask
still
Hartley.
on, he can share your screen if he's still here.
Ask Hartley to make you a co-host.
Yep.
If he's
Hartley,
listening.
Yeah,
are you there?
He must not be listening.
Oh, bummer. Okay.
Oh no, Karen Clem is co-host now.
Oh. That
I think he
doesn't-
got the wrong.
I don't have
Oh.
your map. Okay, here we go.
Partly it's Kim that needs to be able to share.
Him.
Me, Kim. No worries. Okay. Right. Can you see that?
Yes.
I'll have to scroll because it was easiest to get it out of my email. So you can see where he pulled the pictures.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, isn't it wonderful?
You should use that.
Yep, I agree.
No, but that's a zoom in of just the Townsend Harbor.
Right. But you
Yeah.
should still use it in the document.
Right. No, I think we should use both.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it just gives you so much of the flavor of
Yeah.
that. And now we need to update that picture, Bill, of the historic railbed
Yeah.
with that beautiful stone dust.
Oh no, that's in that area. It's staying rails.
Right.
Yeah.
But
Right.
somewhere we have to show that
Yeah.
in our recreation chapter.
Yep.
Okay. So I'll go ahead and stop sharing so we can see each other. Okay.
Okay. So can I continue with the list?
Yes.
Okay. So we decided on the historic and cultural resources on the same map with the historic districts, correct? With the rail trail in the back.
Right.
Yes.
Okay. Along with natural resources, watershed and subbasins. I don't know if you want to add that to, with water, it gets busy because there's so much different stuff. Does the water chapter have the watersheds and subbasins in it? You can let me know later. It doesn't.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think in the water master plan there is.
There is, yeah.
Yeah, basically, I think just our water plan is the wells, what was on, what is going to be used, what's offline right now. It was very, basic.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So
Okay.
like nothing was mentioned, really watershed and subbasins.
Right.
And we can start with the other maps and come back to the water when we have a better idea.
Good. That was my suggestion too.
Okay, then geology, soils, prime farmland. I don't know if you talk about that in any of the chapters.
We didn't talk about that in any of our chapters.
And sometimes it's talked about when you're talking about housing and capacity and build outs and, we have a lot of steep soils, we have a lot of ledge. So that's it's a barrier to building and what have you.
So I think that, I'm very intrigued by that addition, and probably something that we should note to put in there because you bring up terrific points, Karen, about
Okay.
how difficult some of the terrain is to actually build and how much it impacts the ability to put houses in places.
Then we have the whole transportation sorts of things. So the roadway functional classifications, street maps, sidewalks, traffic volumes, vehicle crash stats, bicycle and pedestrian facilities. So bike and pedestrian, do you want that in recreation? Do you want it? It should probably be with transportation, I would think.
I talk a lot about that in the transportation and circulation.
Okay.
Yes.
Mhm. Now there is, Bill, I know that there has been a study, especially in the downtown area, that has bikeability and walkability from, I think, Weston and Sampson.
Right, as part of this grant that they applied for.
Yep.
For the shared streets.
Yep, we could probably get some maps from that too.
Right. Yeah, I was hoping to. That was a new addition since I wrote that. So I'm going to get a hold of that.
Yep.
So we'll hold on those things, or just hold on the bike and pedestrian. Roadway functional classification, street map, sidewalks, crash locations.
I think that's,
all of them. So that would be about 5.
Yep.
Yeah.
I would put the functional classification can be on the street map
Yes.
with the sidewalks. Maybe the volumes and the crash statistics would be on another
A
map.
separate one. Okay.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Wonderful. And then you started to talk about housing a little bit with the farms and the soils, but is there other housing maps that you can show, like where our high density housing is?
Yeah, we could do that if you wanted, where it's the densest.
Mm-hmm.
Probably Kimberly and Pine Meadows. We can do a map that's like median home values for Townsend and the surrounding communities. We could do, if there's anything in the housing production plan about places where the town's designated for affordable housing or senior housing, or we could do a map with the Atwood and Townsend Woods on it.
Yep, we also have the 43D.
Oh, right. If it passes.
Yep, if it passes, which, well,
We already have that map, so.
I bet you do. I'm trying to think of what else.
I mean, typically when you usually take all this stuff for a housing master plan chapter right from your housing production plan. So it's not a lot of effort to do a housing master plan chapter.
Yeah, we're the housing.
But you're doing them all at once.
Well, the housing authority right now has been, we had been allocated $35,000 for a feasibility study for the Dudley Road. But because we had gotten the grant to be able to do the 43D at the Dudley Road property, which gave us the information that we were kind of looking for with that, we're asking at town meeting to reallocate the funds, the $35,000 for a feasibility study to allow us to get the housing production plan written. So
Okay.
if we get that money to be able to get that written, we should be able to have that done, I would say by September. I'm hoping sooner than that, but we'll see.
So we can just do a map that's, shows where the senior housing is.
Can we put that on the density map one?
Yes.
Because that's, obviously a higher density one. And like you said, that, maybe even like a heat map of some sort to show the whole town. And then, the real high density ones are just kind of thinking out loud here, or do we do
no.
with the different, sort of the different zones, zone by zone. That would, be a couple maps, but it's such an important area for people to see it. And I know that sometimes when there's a lot, it can get harder to really decipher the map.
Yeah.
I mean, if there's an area of town that you want to zoom in on, to point out different things that are going on.
What do we have from the 2015 housing production plan? I mean, there were only certain aspects of that I can think of off the top of my head that we really focused on was to increase affordable housing. That would be number one. Number two would be to help improve current housing.
Senior housing. I think senior housing.
Yep.
Aging in place, all of that.
Yep.
Yeah, the maps that generally go with a housing production plan are, development constraints.
Yep.
Town-owned parcels available for housing. Chapter 61 lands available for housing. What else? Sometimes you do demographic maps.
So Karen, you just brought up the chapter 61. Is that something that we should combine with open space to show where the contiguous properties might be?
Yes.
And then maybe they would just be in a different color.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. We did housing values. Then I was thinking of median income. The same thing with the surrounding towns. This is Townsend's median income. This is the surrounding town's median income.
Okay.
When you're sort of talking in the beginning,
Yeah.
introduction, sort of.
Now, I can't think of his name, but there was for our DLTA grant in 2019. There's a lot of the demographic area, and he did do a couple of maps, I think, for that as part of our housing production plan data set that he sent in. So MRPC has all of that information.
Wasn't that sent to us this week too? For some reason, there were a lot of graphs and.
Yeah, I had asked Beth to send all of the information that we had so you guys knew exactly. So we all had the same.
Okay, all right, because I thought I had seen a medium income one.
Yep, it talks about it. There's an age cohort. There's a median income cohort. All of that information, I think, is going to be pertinent to housing.
Right. So
Yeah, especially the age. Yeah.
So we could just move it over if we need to.
Because I just looked in the housing production plan of 2015, and the only maps that are in there are the ACEC, an endangered species,
yep,
and then areas for higher density development, and that's it.
Yep.
And they definitely look like they were not done at the same time or by the same person. So that's the only thing I worry about using the ones from the water document, is that they're going to look really different. And what do others think about that?
It's in a different chapter. It's produced by a different person. I don't think there's an issue with that.
Many
Okay.
documents have different format maps. So
Okay.
anything.
I just wanted to check with everybody. Okay.
Does anyone know if the water department has, not the water department, the highway department has, if they've digitally mapped their stormwater structures?
I have no idea, but I could ask them.
That's a good
I know
question.
that they were looking to get a grant at some point to do that, but I don't know if they did.
Well, Karen, back in the day, we had talked about digitizing a lot of things, and what we've been trying to do is to coordinate the effort. I know the police department also needs to digitize a lot of their records. So what we're kind of looking for, and part of it could be with some funding that is possibly maybe coming our way, to be able to work with the land use, because there's a lot of stuff in land use we want to be able to get on computer as well. So the goal is to try to get that kind of tied up this summer, to be able to do all of that. Roads, I'm not real. I know that we talked about it. I'm not sure if anything has been digitized to date, but I know that the building department, we want to tie in the land use and the building department with what they have, and also bring in the highway. We want to also, with the engineers that we have for the different projects that we have going right now, the idea is hopefully that we can combine all of those so that we can be fully digitized by sometime next year.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, hopefully. I don't know if that's going to come to fruition, but that's the goal. And I think, Kim, that's something that we can also put in the master plan as well.
Yeah. Okay.
Then I have economic opportunity zones. I don't believe there are any, and priority development sites. So that would be the 43D, which hasn't passed yet, but I'm sure you're going to talk about it. But we don't need to. I mean, there's already a map for that.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then community facilities. We talked about that. That was my list.
Okay. This was super helpful, to just kind of hear from you, what you had, what could be combined together. Really excited about this coming to fruition with the maps. It's going to add a lot of depth to the report. So anything else that anyone can think of?
Well,
while we have Karen.
I would like to, what do you think, Karen, as far as the timeline is concerned? Is this all doable within the timeline that you and I had talked about?
Yes.
Okay. So
as long as, what'll happen is Kayla will make the draft maps and we'll provide them to you. The only thing is we need comment back in a timely manner so that, if there are any changes, we can meet your timeline.
Okay.
Sure. And what were you thinking? What did you guys discuss as in terms of timeline?
We talked about by the end of July. Or the end of June. I think
the end of June.
I tried to push them to August and they pushed me back to July.
Yeah, and the reason being, Karen, just to kind of get a high level view, we've got the vulnerability project that we're working on for an additional grant. The grants for that have to do with part of the water facility infrastructure work that we need to get done. We've also got another grant that's in the works to be able to help out another facet for the water department. We also have other things for planning that we're trying to get off the ground in regards to that. And everything is centered around the master plan. That's my goal right now, and that's what I told the planning board, that I'll do my best to aid the master plan committee to get this thing written so that we then can dovetail off of it with all these other projects that we have waiting in the wings for it. I know that the housing has their projects that they have. There's a couple of, now that we have the Affordable Housing Trust, I don't know if you knew that we got that finally passed. We've got it set up so that we're actually looking for funds to be able to help with affordable fixes, like for roofs and furnaces and all of that kind of stuff. So we need to get that funded so that we can then start rolling out some of those programs as well. But again, those are all part of getting the master plan off the ground so that we have, that master document that we can call out on. So the goal, I think, is last of July at the very, very latest, Kim, to answer the question.
Yeah, so I mean, we can obviously continue and create placeholders and things like that for the maps. I just wanted to think timing wise, and you just with the trust, we probably should be putting some information in somewhere about community need. We get requests all the time at TEO.
Yep.
For things like that, and we do a lot with private donations and trying to do that, but I bet at least once, twice a month, we get some sort of request.
Yep.
Or something. So.
And we are building, I'm working with the selectmen right now to be able to streamline, like we have funds right now that are available for individuals who need fuel assistance. And it's not just for oil, it's for pellets, it's for, electricity, it's whatever they need. We still have approximately $26,000 that we can distribute to the town. And those are going to be ongoing things that the like fuel assistance and all of that the Affordable Housing Trust is going to be able to run for us.
Yeah, that's a great asset. So, okay. So now
I'm sorry.
Oh, no, say now we have a good perspective on the timeline. I just wanted to make sure that we concluded the map piece because we probably should talk a little bit about the other technical assistance piece as well.
Yes.
Yeah.
Just one other thing about the maps, Kim.
Yes, Bill.
Karen, I wonder if you could send, just because, I think we're going to be writing and we're just going to be saying this map here, that map there. If you could send the list of the maps that, I know I've been trying to take notes, but I think you understand it better than I do. If you could just email Kim a list of the maps that you are planning to give us for the master plan, and then we can put them in where we think they will be. And therefore, when you send them, we can quickly get the final document done.
Yes, absolutely. I was just about to do that.
All right, great.
Wonderful. Yeah. So I've been taking notes too, but that way there we have them in your language.
I understood it as well as Karen did. So
yeah.
Bill just sent me the shape file for the rail trail. So I'm going to send this to him. So, cause I don't know any of your emails
that's fine.
Right now yet.
No worries.
But no, we can talk about the other part too.
Okay. And then, as we progress over our next few meetings, if there's something that comes up, a little tweak here or there, can we just reach out,
Absolutely.
Yeah. We'll let Beth know and we can get that information to you.
Yeah. So Karen, Kayla's going to be working on this going forward, right?
Yes.
Okay. So it would be Kayla that we'd be reaching out to, Kim, and we can make sure that you get all that information.
Okay, wonderful. Okay, so if we think that we have, kind of gone for all the maps, I just want to make sure, Andrea, we haven't heard anything from you. If you had any thoughts on any maps, and Dawn, through the conversation, if there's anything else you'd like to add.
I have nothing to add. It seems you've got it in great hand.
Yeah.
Hi, Andrea.
Hi.
Good to not see you.
Thanks a lot.
Interesting comment.
Oh. Okay. Dawn, you set?
Yeah, I'm all set. I don't have anything.
Okay. Karen?
All set.
All set.
All right,
Wonderful.
Karen. So what I'll do, I'll go ahead and send Lance that you and I have met with the master plan committee, and we're all set with that, and we're okay. And then he'll instruct Beth to go ahead and have that signed and sent back to you. Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Can we just chat a minute about the other part?
Sure.
Yeah, especially the timing part. So when do you need? What's the length of time that you think that you would need for review so that we can back that into our schedule?
I would say, depending on how long your chapters are, maybe an hour per chapter, 2 hours per chapter. Let me understand, you want us to review it and make sure it makes sense, that it flows like a master plan should, or are you looking for
Yeah, so the overall kind of look and feel, like if you just say, oh, geez, you guys really, you're missing this.
Okay.
We want to know that, of course.
Yeah.
And then there's the whole piece of consistency in the right data, so to
Right.
speak. There's so many different numbers from different sources that we
Yes.
want to make sure that we're consistent with what MRPC uses for Townsend in each of the areas. And I think, you'll know that organically, like you can read it
Right.
and say, oh, wait, no, this is the one we prefer to use. Like, don't use that one.
Yeah.
I think that's really important.
Okay.
Because it makes a difference from document to document. If you're reading it and going, well, wait a minute, we were noticing that with economic development. It's like, well, where are these numbers coming from? Because they're not the same numbers that we had. And we
Right.
just want that sort of checks and balance.
Okay. So I would say if you gave us the whole document a couple of weeks.
Okay.
Is that how you want to do it, Kim, or should we send her chapter by chapter when it's ready, or would it be better just to get the whole thing?
Well, let's ask Karen's opinion. I mean, chapter by chapter would mean that you would get it, in pieces. So it could be piecemealed in, when someone has a little bit of extra time here and there. I think the con on that is that when you have the whole document, you can see where things are connected or disconnected a little easier.
I agree with that.
Yeah, if you were going to tell me it would take 2 months to turn around, I might be like, okay, yeah, let's go chapter by chapter.
No.
But I think if it's a few weeks, then I think we're okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And then in terms of kind of how to best do that, would you want us to have a meeting to verbally kind of go through the document? Would you want to just do track changes with it? Like what is your preferred method for that?
My preferred method would be track changes
Okay.
with, comments on the side, why I thought something or didn't think something else.
Okay.
Yeah. I know track changes is a pain in the ass, but it works for that purpose.
Yeah, I don't mind it. I just wanted to make sure that we were adapting to what was going to work best for you. And obviously, if you ever needed a meeting with us, we would assemble. So that,
absolutely.
if you needed to talk to us.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, we should be able to. So do you want us to communicate directly with you, Kim?
Sure. And
I mean, we can go through Beth, but it just seems.
Yeah. Well, I was gonna say if we just, CC to keep her in the loop.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And can I have, can Beth send me your email?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
It's a long one, so it's easier to have her send it over.
Okay. All right. I think, unless you have more questions for me, Bill, did you get my doc?
I did, thanks.
Oh, okay. So Bill has the list of maps that we just went over. If you say, oh, I don't remember talking about that, or, just let me know.
Okay.
I put my email in the chat.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Oh, thank you for this thankless work that you guys are doing. Have a good night.
Right,
Right,
thanks,
take care.
Karen.
Kim,
Yes, Andrea?
could I have a question to ask Chaz?
Okay.
Is that okay?
Of course.
It's back a ways from what we were discussing now.
Okay.
But he talked about digitalizing records. And I know the police chief is very adamant about it because he spoke to us about it in great detail.
Mm-hmm.
The finance committee. You said you wanted it done by June. So you have money to do it in an article form or somewhere until June for this fiscal year?
No. We are looking to be able to have a decision on how we're moving forward by June. Not that we're going to have it done.
Okay. Well, if you have some idea, and you want some money, you had, there's no article on the articles for the upcoming town meeting to do this.
Correct. Yeah.
And maybe at least you could put in talk to the selectmen, because they have the ability to, even though the warrant is closed, to add things if they wish.
Okay.
To put in at least a placeholder in case it moves faster and you get an opportunity to address it for the at town meeting.
Mm-hmm. Well, I know that the
next
building
year.
department is also interested in that as well. And I think it's that hopefully that we can all get together and discuss it. I'm not sure if we're going to be able to do it in time for this town meeting, but thank you very much for that information. I think that's
okay. It seemed like you were planning on it, and funding only comes once a year, so to speak.
Yep. No, I get it. And I don't know if the building department's going to move forward with theirs or not. I mean, you're on the finance committee, so I don't know if he had put in his budget or anything like that. So,
well, it wouldn't be in his budget. I believe it would be as a capital improvement. It would be in the capital plan, or because it's an operating necessity, maybe.
mm-hmm.
It can be a capital purchase, but doesn't have to be in the capital plan. But the only person who has spoken about it at all to the finance committee or the selectmen has been the police chief.
Mm-hmm.
But I didn't see a placeholder for him. The other articles are just as sentences now. They're not formed up. So sometimes it's hard to tell the details. Some are just placeholders,
Right.
Right. And but if somebody needs some money to start this digital stuff, somebody better act fairly soon.
Yep. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay. So for chapters that we can send over, do you guys want to do the historic and cultural resources and circulation and transportation over to the planning board?
Well, I mean, have people gotten a chance? I know I sent it to you, Kim, but has anybody else in the board gotten a chance to look at what I wrote?
I thought I sent that to everybody. Did I not?
I don't think so.
Okay, so not that one. What about the circulation and transportation? Because that one everyone has.
Well, I don't remember reading that one either, so maybe I'll have to double check.
So that one was in Google Docs.
Anybody else read it? Did I just miss it?
I read it because I wrote it, but
Oh, yeah, I thought that made sense. Andrea, Dawn, did you read it? Because I am lost here because I don't remember reading it.
No,
Okay.
I think I looked at transportation, but I didn't make comments. Yeah.
Okay.
So you did see
Yeah.
it, so I had to miss it. Okay, fine.
Okay, so today's the 25th. They meet again on the 5th. Would we be able to meet on the 7th or 8th? I'm switching gears here. I just want to see when we can meet again, and so I can give information to the planning board.
What day of the week is the 7th?
The 7th is a Wednesday.
I've got rail trail on Wednesday. I don't have
Oh.
it on the 8th.
Right. So I actually just realized that that's the first Wednesday of the month, so I have a meeting too. The 8th would be the Thursday. Andrea, would that work for you after your other meeting?
Yeah, we're usually out early enough. I'll get there, or I'll leave the meeting, so I'll be there.
Okay.
Yeah, if it's TCAM, we can't go over.
Yes.
We can't have the. Let's see what she's got booked.
Are you checking on schedule, Don?
Yeah, I'm checking on it.
Okay.
Thursday, the 8th. The Finance Committee is booked 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. that day.
Okay.
You want to just do a late one? I know 8's late, but we do it from like 8 to 9.
Well, one of the problems here is that Lynn, we've gotten caught short on meetings because we've run out of time.
Right.
So she booked future meetings for a period longer than she thought we would probably need. So 8 o'clock, we might be out of the meeting at 7:30 or 7 o'clock. You know, it's kind of ambiguous.
It is, but we have to post 2 days
Post.
in what the schedule
Yeah.
is. So
So what do you think for a different, an alternative date?
Well, is there anything else available for that week that anybody's available?
I'm free that week except for the Wednesday.
I can do any of the days.
I can as well, except for Thursday.
yeah, and I think we have to stay away from Tuesday for Board of Selectmen
True. You're absolutely right.
because that's
Monday to Friday?
appreciate it. I think the Wednesday we have people that are busy, so we have to move Wednesday.
So
Do the 8th at 8 o'clock. It's only 45 minutes later than what we're meeting tonight anyway.
True.
yeah. Bill, what are your thoughts?
That's fine with me.
Okay. Andrea?
Fine.
Okay. Let's do that.
Is that okay with Hartley?
Oh yeah, Hartley, is that okay? I need you. We can't do anything without you, Hartley. Makes for a long day. Okay. Okay. So now that we've got that one in the books, for the one after that, I could do the 21st, but I would not be able to do the 22nd. That's the food distribution day.
I know that the Conservation Commission has booked out Wednesdays too, Kim, just so you know.
They do, okay.
Yeah.
Every Wednesday?
I know that they did a bunch of them because they needed back business to do.
Okay.
I'm looking.
Hartley, are you able to check that date for us?
Sorry, what's the date, Kim?
April 21st?
Okay, that's fine.
Hartley, is conservation booked that night? Yes.
Okay. Yeah, and there's enough, Kim, there's nothing on the main calendar on the website, so 21st is open.
Okay. 7:15. Yeah. Okay. Let me just do this while we're on the phone. So circulation, transportation, recreation. Queued up next.
So what's the plan for the next meeting, Kim?
So I'm gonna send those circulation, transportation, the infrastructure. Does everyone have that one? I feel like we reviewed that at the last meeting.
I don't remember seeing. I mean, I just remember talking about you were going to do a combined one, and we would look at it. And I don't think I've gotten anything from you since the last meeting.
Okay. Go look. I pulled those all together too. So let me get them off to you guys.
Ooh,
I'm gonna make myself notes now, or I forget everything.
Join the club.
Okay.
Did you?
Okay, and then we'll scratch. It's the planning board meeting is the 5th, not the 12th. I'll be able to give an update for this meeting. I can attend that particular meeting, so I have that one down as the 5th. No, not the 12th.
So you're going to actually attend the 5th?
Yeah, I'll be able to phone in on that one. And then just loop back to the kind of start of the meeting. Dawn, did you take notes at the last meeting? Someone had offered to do it, and
I did.
Okay.
Let me check. I thought I had it out because I just put them right into the minutes and took them that way, or right into the computer and put it.
Yes. Planning board. Oh yeah, thank you. Yes, no, it's just so that I have that so that we can give our update during their event, during their meeting. Okay, so Dawn, if you were able to just put those minutes together and circulate them.
Yep, I will do that.
Okay. And then does anyone else have anything to address this evening?
So just to go back to our next meeting, you're going to send us circulation and transportation, infrastructure. We're going to do the historical and cultural resource chapter.
Yes.
So there'll be 3 chapters you're going to send out. We'll just, do you want us to do track changes and send them back to you, or just discuss changes at the meeting on the 8th?
I think if you had the time to go ahead and do track changes, I think that would be great. And then we can go through them all together.
Okay. So track your own changes, then we'll go through them at the meeting.
Yes.
Okay.
But if you send them, then I can sort of have a working document of the track changes.
Okay. So send to you before the meeting.
Yeah, if you can, if someone gets to them, that would be helpful.
I mean, with circulation and transportation, as I mentioned to Chaz, I'm going to be adding some of the new information that came in through this winter shared street study.
The shared streets. Okay.
It's a mouthful.
Glad I wasn't on that committee.
Okay. Okay. And then has anyone heard from Todd at all?
I have not been able to connect live. We've exchanged emails, but that's it. Kind of.
Okay.
But I'll see if I can get a commitment for a meeting.
Okay. Yeah. If you don't mind, we'll send something out just because we had 2 members that were not here tonight. I'll send it out. But if we could connect and just try to get them recharged up to join us, that would be wonderful. Okay, so if no one has anything else for this evening.
My turn.
It is.
I move that we close the meeting at 8:32.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, everyone. And we'll be talking soon.
Seconded that.
Oh, yeah. Someone's got to second it.
I will.
Andrea usually seconds it.
I'll second it. Nobody's saying anything.
Okay.
Just one quick question. Am I the official note taker for today? I can't remember. We've done so much here.
Oh, I thought I was.
Or
Yeah,
Billy?
Bill was tonight.
Fine with me. And I don't have to do minutes from
Sorry, Karen.
2/17 because Dawn has them.
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's changed in my notes. Okay,
Yeah.
good.
All right.
I'm off the hook.
Yes. All right. Take care, everyone.
Thank you. Bye.
All right. Bye.
Bye.